Hi, my name is Elise Horan, and I'm the Writing Center Director. Today we're going to learn about peer review workshops and how to conduct them effectively. Throughout this video, you'll be prompted to pause and participate in your own peer review workshop. Peer review is an essential part of the writing process. Beyond the classroom, you'll likely need to conduct peer reviews on projects or reports with colleagues. Regardless of the circumstance, reading and engaging with other writing can make you a better writer yourself. Before you start your peer review workshop, it's important to remember that you are approaching the review from a professional perspective. You're providing your partner with constructive feedback for revision, not a final grade. Think about the kind of feedback you would want to receive. There's a human on the other end. You are not just reviewing a paper. To help you get a sense of what the paper is saying and to get yourself in the peer review mindset, take a few minutes to skim your partner's paper. At this point, you do not need to read word for word. Just enough to understand the main points and key details, giving you context for a more thorough read later. So you've skimmed your partner's paper, and now have an understanding of what the paper is trying to say. And maybe you already spotted a few areas you want to comment on. Now is the time to give that feedback. Remember that your comments are meant to promote revision. Statements like, "Your paper is good," or "This paragraph needs work," can leave your partner confused and doesn't give a lot of direction. Instead, you should tie your comments to a specific example. Think of this as evidence for a claim you might make in an essay. For example, if you felt like the paper was good, maybe it was easy to follow. You could note that transitions were effective because they made connections between subsequent paragraphs. Conversely, maybe aspects of the paper were confusing. Instead of just writing confusing next to a paragraph, explain what was confusing. You might note that it was difficult to identify the thesis statement or problem statement. You could even try to restate the main idea in the margins as a way to check if you understood the paper correctly. Either way, you want to note things your partner has done well, in addition to things he or she could improve. Last, don't focus too much on locks or lower order concerns, such as spelling, grammar, or punctuation. Those things can be edited later by your partner when they proofread. Remember, it's a rough draft, so it's meant to be a little bit rough. There's a lot of things you could comment on which will be unique to your partner's paper, and your professor may ask you to focus on one aspect throughout the workshop, so keep your rubrics and prompts on hand. Now that we have an idea of how to give feedback and where to concentrate your focus, take some time to read your assigned paper and make comments. You've taken the time to get to know the paper and give useful feedback, so what's next? Meeting with your partner. This gives you time to practice giving feedback face-to-face. One thing you want to remember is that you don't want to simply repeat every piece of feedback you just spent time writing. Instead, give your partner the big picture. What were some general positive trends you noticed, and what were common issues they should revise? It's important to note both aspects. This isn't a roast, and your partner will be more receptive to feedback if you don't simply focus on the negatives. It will also allow your partner to understand where they should concentrate their efforts during revision. Also, give your partner time to skim the comments. This will allow him or her to ask clarifying questions. Last, remember that this peer review workshop is not meant to be the final say on revisions. It is up to the author if he or she wants to follow your suggestions. Now that we understand what we should be discussing in the post-peer review process, take some time to chat with your partner. You've now learned how to effectively participate in a peer review workshop. Use these principles of feedback in future academic or professional peer review activities.